Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. Welcome to Wreathmas Week. We are on day number 2, episode number 2 of my Wreathmas Week 2025, 7 days, 7 rays, plus don't forget that 8th wreath right at the very end, a little bonus episode. Why don't we just jump into day number 2 and I'll show you what I made. I'm going to be using 2 wire frames today. One is going to be 14 inch and the other is going to be 8 inches. And this 2.5 inch and 1.5 inch ribbon, we have kind of a Christmas tree geometric and a striped, along with some greenery, some of this red deco mesh tubing, some 8 inch cable ties, and of course, as always, my regular crafting utensils to create this project. Here is the materials list that I'm going to be using today for you to write down or take a screenshot for your shopping. I'm starting off with my 8-inch wire frame and some cable ties, and I'm going to attach the cable ties to the very outside wire and within that one section. So I'm not closing it all the way. I'm just leaving a little gap, and I'm going to leave the end as well. We're not going to cut that off. And I'm going to do 2 of those within this one little section. You can kind of see here how I've placed them. Then once I have those all in place, I'm going to take my 1.5 inch stripe ribbon, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around that wreath frame. So I'm going to start off with my hot glue gun, placing some hot glue down, and then I'm going to fold that edge right kind of where the section begins and fold it over onto itself in the ribbon. Then I'm going to unspool a whole bunch of the ribbon because I can't really wrap on that large spool, and I decided I'm going to roll it up. It'll work a lot easier if I roll up that excess, and once I did, it went so much smoother. So I am taking my time wrapping it. This is sped up a little bit, so it looks like I'm doing it super fast, but I'm not. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around until I come to that first section where we put those cable ties. I'm going to bring that cable tie in between where I'm wrapping it and making sure that it's visible, because we are going to attach this small frame to the larger frame using the cable tie. So I'm just going to make sure that that's still visible and on the outside, and still continue to wrap all the way to the end. Then when I've wrapped it about 3 or 4 more times from the first cable tie, I'm going to do the exact same thing to the second one, making sure that that cable tie comes through and it is visible and we can see it. Once I get close to the end, I'm going to cut the excess off, save that for later because we're going to make a bow. Yes, we are. I'm going to wrap that around until I'm done, and then I'm just going to glue that end piece, creating that wrapped, beautiful wreath already with those cable ties visible. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with this geometric Christmas tree shape ribbon. This is 2.5 inch wired ribbon. These ribbons come from Costco, and I'm going to start the same way. Add some hot glue down there to start it off. Get it nice and secure, and then I'm just going to wrap and wrap and wrap till my heart's content. And I'm going to wrap all the way around until I come to that first section, and then I'm just going to stop right here, and then I'm going to take that 8-inch wire frame with the cable ties, and I'm going to feed a cable tie through the inside wire of the large frame and then through that first cable tie, as you see here from the smaller frame. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull each of them tighter and tighter and tighter until it's a nice secured fit. Once that's all done, really pull it tight, making sure it's nice and secure. Cut off the excess with my scissors, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So it's a cable tie right on the inside wire through the loop of the cable tie on the smaller wreath frame, close that off, and then I'm just going to alternate tightening the two until it's nice and secure on there, pulling it nice and tight, and then once that's done, just chop off those excess cable ties, and then I'm going to take, again, unspool that ribbon because I can't feed it through the smaller one, and I'm going to finish wrapping the ribbon all around the 2 frames. And of course, wrapping it around there, and at the very end, hot glue that down to make sure everything's nice and secure, cut off the excess, and we have our base all done in those 2 beautiful ribbons. Now I'm going to make what I call a lazy bow. I don't know if that's the correct term, but I'm using my 1.5 inch wire ribbon, and I'm going to be cutting those pieces at 12 inches. Then I'm going to cut some at the 10-inch mark, and then I'm going to cut more at the 8-inch mark. And I'm doing maybe about 4 or 5 of each, and then my last one is going to be the 6-inch mark that I'm going to do those cuts with as well. And I did this for both the striped and the geometric shape, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to staple the very end. You can use your hot glue gun if you want. I just decided to use my stapler today, and we're creating little teardrop shapes, if you will, of our ribbon. Now, I didn't end up using as much of the geometric shape ribbon as I originally had planned. You'll see later on I was kind of fiddling around with it and it was a little bit too much, but I did add it in the end. As well, we're going to use the Decor mesh tubing. I didn't measure any of this, so the loops are probably maybe 4 or 5 inches, and I'm just bundling them up, maybe about 4 or 5 loops on each end, grabbing a cable tie, attaching it right in the center there, and then I'm going to pull that nice and tight. And then I'm just going to cut the excess of the Decor mesh off with my scissors, and then cut the excess of the cable tie off. And then we have our little bundle already made, and I'm going to make 5 of these bundles, just eyeballing the lengths of those loops. Now we have everything ready on my desk. I'm going to start creating that lazy bundle. So the idea of this is just to have a lot of ribbon, a lot of stuff happening right at the top. And you can kind of see here, I'm kind of guessing or second guessing myself with that geometric Christmas tree ribbon, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to use that. I'm not too sure. So I kind of just went ahead with the striped ribbon, gluing that all down, the larger pieces first, gluing down some of our tubing bundles, and then I start working on these smaller ones. So I'm working from largest to smallest of our ribbon, and you see here I do add some of the other ribbon on there with the stripes, and I'm adding the last few ones on there, and I decide with the smaller ones I am going to add that Christmas tree ribbon in there just to fill in some spaces right at the top. You can kind of see it open a little bit, so I wanted to fill it in, so I'm going to use that ribbon as well. And then we're going to take a Christmas ornament, a nice glittery one, throw that right in the center, and then we're going to add some greenery in there as well. Like I said, I wanted this bow, or this lazy man's bow, to be just an explosion, and I think we achieved that. The ribbons are crazy. That bow is crazy. I thought maybe this might be too much, but I'm going to say at the end, this wreath really did make me smile. Halfway through, I was kind of like, I don't know about this, Dave, but really look at it on my door. It is just an explosion of red, white, and green, an explosion of Christmas. And then, of course, we have that glittery ball right in the center to finish off our Christmas wreath. And don't forget that playlist is right down below. You can just click on that link and that'll take you to all of the episodes for Wreathmas Week 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today while I created day number 2 of Wreathmas Week. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you could be notified whenever I upload a new project. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.